What's up, Grognard? Sam here, coming to you from the studio, and I am here today to talk about the Bazaar Bazaar. But before I do that, I just wanted to say I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's getting some games in. I hope that it has been a fun and exciting time at whichever Grognard Games location you've chosen to stop into lately. Of course, we've always got a plentiful number of events happening in the space, whether that is of our weekly Friday Night Magic, any of our weekly organized play days for things like Battletech, or if you're getting down on some Warhammer, of course, a Star Wars Shatterpoint, a War Machine, Bolt Action. Conflict 47 just dropped. Folks are excited about Conflict 47, which is super cool. Looking forward to seeing what people bring to the table soon. Star Wars Legion. We just moved our Star Wars Legion tournament from October 18th to October the 20th. That is going to mean that more people are able to participate, and it will no longer conflict with the Bazaar Bazaar, which is super exciting news. The new Star Wars Legion models are fire, and all of the new accessories are amazing, and the game is in just a great place right now, and it's only going to continue to get better as the new starters are released, new models are released, and I think 2026 is going to be an awesome year for Star Wars Legion, so stay tuned for more about that. But today we're here to talk about the Bazaar. The Bazaar Bazaar, of course, is our semi-annual event that we hold usually at each of our locations. Now, of course, we've grown to 3 locations, but we're not going to do 3 bazaars. Algonquin will likely never host a bazaar, mostly due to parking and space limitations. However, in light of Grognard Games Batavia's recent glow up, we've decided to move the Roselle Bazaar to Batavia. This is all old information, but I'm throwing it out there for you so you get a little idea scenes. That decision was not made lightly, but it was just made because we knew that we were going to have far more space for folks and the ability to get more stuff in for the bazaar, more people in browsing the stuff at the bazaar, and really just show off the new space to folks that maybe haven't seen it yet, because it's a great opportunity for that sort of cross-pollination between the Grognard Games communities. So that said, it will be at Grognard Games Batavia October 18th and 19th. We are so looking forward to having you in. Sellers have already begun dropping off all the goodies. There will be a bounty of goodies to be had at a variety of prices, a variety of types of items. Of course, you're going to find plenty of Warhammer miniatures. You're going to find books. You're going to find other game lines. You're probably going to find some TCG accessories, maybe even some TCG sealed product here or there. The TCG stuff does seem to be much more minimal compared to board games and miniature games. However, there will, of course, be a 25% off sale on all Grognard Games stores singles inventory. And so that's another way for customers to pick up singles. The Fall into Gaming sale was such a success, we decided to run it back for you all, because why not? We have a lot of singles right now. And you know, we're spreading the wealth around. We're in a good place to be able to just say, like, hey, let's sell more cards. And of course, we want your cards as well, so bring them in. We are not only, of course, selling those cards in store, but we do have our TCG Player Pro account now. So we're selling cards on TCG Player. You can always look for our TCG Player account or use one of our in-store kiosks at Grognard Games Algonquin. Algonquin does have the inventory. So if you go to Algonquin, use those kiosks, you'll get your card right then and there. If you do want to make any TCG Player purchases at the other stores, feel free to do so. However, just understand that those cards are not actually in stock in Roselle and Batavia, only in Algonquin. So Grognard Games Batavia, October 18th and 19th will be the Bazaar Bazaar. It's going to be super exciting. You have until October the 14th to finish dropping off your materials. All materials must be labeled with the Grognard Games labels. Those forms are available via a Google Drive link that we have supplied in our store Discord, as well as on social media. If you have any trouble accessing that link, please let us know. We're happy to share it with you. Or, of course, you can come into the store and pick up hard copies of those sheets. There's also an item list form, inventory form, that will help us to make sure that we know everything that you have dropped off, as well as pricing, and we will be able to check that off as it sells. So we will know and be able to, collate that with the item slips as well once we're all done, so that you get your 100% store credit in return. So not only is it a wonderful opportunity for buyers to pick up some amazing deals, but it is also a great opportunity for you to earn store credit towards a future purchase at Grognard Games. So let's talk a little bit about selling. Let's talk a little bit more about selling. Selling is definitely a bit of an art. There's a little bit of luck involved as well, for the buyers too, of course. I've mentioned this before, and it's something that we want to reinforce, but this is a gaming garage sale. People are looking for deals. That's not to say that your special, amazing, limited edition model that has been out of print for 10 years isn't going to fetch a premium price. But it is to say that if you are selling something that is still available, you're going to want to be sensitive to that price point for folks, because they're going to ask themselves, hey, this is an open box item. Yeah, the sprues are all here, but if I could get, brand spanking new for 10 bucks more, a lot of people psychologically would rather pay that 10 bucks more to just know that they have a brand new unopened product, right? So, and maybe I shouldn't have put a price tag on that, but percentage wise, you're really looking at probably wanting to take a 20% price reduction on anything that you're going to put out there right off the bat. And the places that you can find those best prices are going to be things like eBay sold listings. Take a look at the eBay sold listings for some of your items, right? Average out the last 10 to 15 sales, drop the price by about 15 to 20%. And that's your Saturday sale number right there. That is the perfect spot, I think, for a lot of folks to sell an item. Okay. And then for your Sunday price, you're going to want to take the absolute lowest amount that you are willing to part with an item for. That is going to give you the best chance to sell your stuff and give you that store credit that you didn't have before. If you're looking at this as an opportunity to make the absolute most money possible, then you may end up being a little bit disappointed. You may end up taking home more stuff than you anticipated when you dropped it off. And we don't want that. We don't want that for a number of reasons. One, it sucks to have to store a bunch of stuff that didn't sell in the store and wait for you to come pick it up. I'm just going to say that point blank, right? Like, it does. It takes up space for us. It also creates a little bit of extra stress and worry because now we're having to mine somebody else's items. We want you to sell your stuff. We want you to move those items. And at the end of the day, it's the idea. My dad told me this a long time ago, right? If a fisherman sits down with a bucket of fish, right, and he sells those and tries to sell those fish for 10 bucks a pop, but he only sells half of his fish, and the guy next to him sells all of his fish at 5 bucks a pop and goes home early for the day, you tell me who had a better day. So I think that is an extreme, obviously, and it's just a story, but at the same time, the idea is like, we want you to be able to price your items to move. We have a lot of experience in this. We know what we're talking about. If you really want to sell your stuff, use that rule of thumb. Check out those eBay sold listings, drop your price by about 15 to 20% for your Saturday price, then go rock bottom for your Sunday price. If you really want to sell your items, that's going to give you the best opportunity to do that. Some items will sell for a premium price. Obviously they will, right? But in general, you're really wanting to look at this more as a garage sale, an opportunity for people to come in and get the most bang for their buck. That's not to say that people don't want to spend money. They do. They just want to get a lot of stuff for their money. Nobody's coming in here looking to buy one or two items. People are coming in here looking to buy a whole new army, a whole new collection of things, 4 or 5 different board games, accessories, etc. So keep that in mind as you're pricing your items. Additionally, when it comes to drop off, make sure that your items are bundled in such a way that makes sense, right? If you're selling individual minis, fine. You can put them in a box, individually tag them, we can take it from there, right? If you're selling lots, make sure that it is clearly labeled, that it is clearly defined, that it is packaged well. Plastic bags certainly work. We don't want necessarily, don't show up with like a huge box, right, with a bunch of minis in it and say like, this is my lot. Like, that's just hard for us to display. It's hard for us to sell. I'd rather see something bagged. I'd rather see something, that's not going to take up a lot of space on the table, right? Certainly we want things to be visually appealing, but people take their time. People look. People are like, again, they're hunting for deals. They don't mind necessarily, picking up the bags, looking to see what the models are, looking to see that or whatever. I get the idea of like, look at my beautiful box full of stuff here, but again, that takes up a lot of square footage. So we'd rather you take up less space and be able to give us those items in such a way that make it manageable than to try to come in with, the prettiest display in town, because ultimately we're probably just going to, not do that anyway. Also, when it comes to selling, recognize that the store credit will not be immediately available. So if you come in Sunday and say, hey, where's my stuff and where's my store credit? We are going to say, hey, we're not going to have that for you for at least 48 hours, at least 48 hours. Most likely it's going to take us more like, 4 to 5 business days to get everything taken care of and everything set up. Now, at the end of those 4 to 5 business days, we want you to pick up your stuff. We want you to have your store credit and use it. Absolutely. And if it's available sooner than that, which traditionally it has been, we will absolutely let you know. One of my lights just popped off. I'm just going to keep going. and I'm going to leave this in here because, sometimes you just get to see how the sausage is made. So please be patient with us. Again, traditionally we have been able to get through it a lot quicker than that. We have absolutely been able to say your store credit's ready, your items are ready, come and get it, within maybe 48 hours. But give us at least 4 to 5 business days before you start calling, before you start asking, before you start wondering where your store credit is and when you can pick up your items. We need that time because it takes a lot of time to go through all of the slips, make sure we're adding all the store credit in, making sure everything's accounted for, making sure that nothing is missing based off of the inventory. It's a lot of work. It really is. We have an amazing team. Everybody works their butts off for these bazaars, and it takes up a lot of time and a lot of space, but we love being able to do it. It's exciting for us. On a personal note, I love being able to see what people bring into the store, and I've bought some stuff. In fact, I figured in addition to kind of laying out the land and giving you some idea of the structure of the bazaar, I would also show you some of the goodies that I have picked up over the couple of years that I've been going to the bazaar. I'll start with some of my favorite stuff right off the bat. So I am a huge fan of audio dramas in general. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, as you can tell from behind me. And Big Finish is a company that produces Doctor Who audio dramas. I love the audio dramas so much. So naturally, I am a huge fan of the Warhammer audio dramas as well, especially considering that there's a lot of crossover. In fact, one of my favorite pickups from the bazaar is the Our Martyred Lady box set, which Catherine Tate stars in. Of course, Catherine Tate was Donna Noble in Doctor Who, along with David Tennant's 10th Doctor. This box set is super cool. I love having it. I love the look of it. I just love it. The funny thing is I actually owned this digitally beforehand, but when I saw the physical copy, I was like, I got to get that. And it was a hell of a deal. Again, that's the thing, right? It's like this was priced. The US price retail on this was $60. And I think I paid under $30 for it. And again, that's a lot of times, that's what people are looking for. Now, speaking of, I also have a sisters army, so another reason for me to want something like this. And speaking of sisters, here is Red and Black, James Swallow. Of course, Lisa Bowerman is in this, and Lisa Bowerman plays Bernice Summerfield in the Doctor Who audios and the Benny audios as well. That's a deep cut for Doctor Who, so if you know what I'm talking about, awesome. Here's something really sweet. Now, I'm a huge fan, of basically just any mecha anime. My introduction to anime, like a lot of folks in my generation, was Robotech. And Robotech, of course, is a combination of 3 separate Japanese series, SDF Macross being the main one, the first one, the one that most people are familiar with. But of course, that sprang out into me just wanting to watch anything and everything I could. So whether it was stuff like Pat Labor or Evangelion, etc. One of the ones that I came to a little bit late, but I'd heard a lot about, read a lot about, but honestly didn't watch until probably about like 8 or 9 years ago, was Armored Trooper Votams. Well, there was a role-playing game for it, and this happened to be sitting on one of the tables, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, I got to get that. So this was something that I picked up. Again, the original artwork reminded me a lot of Palladium Games Robotech RPG. Not so much in the style of the RPG, but just the fact that they used original ink drawings and line art from the original Japanese series across actually in those books, which just made them a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful resource. The next thing I'll show you is this is something really cool and something that, again, as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, there's no doubt that I'm getting this. And that, of course, is the Warhammer 40K 25th anniversary Space Marine model. Just a super, super cool, beautiful, beautiful resin model, and not super easy to find, right? And so I picked this up, and again, just you're going to find some incredible stuff at the bazaar. Another thing, I love historicals. I really do. I don't get the opportunity to play them very much. Bolt action is great. The opportunity to sit down at a table and do some solo play, though, is always a lot of fun as well. Avalon Hill, of course, is kind of the king of some of those like quasi board games / war games sort of things. And this is another thing that I saw, and I think it was like it was $5 on a Sunday, and it hadn't been picked up yet. And I was like, all right, I gotta get it. Why wouldn't I get it? And that is the B-17 Queen of the Skies game. And this game, of course, again, can be played solo. Can also be played with a couple of other players as well. But it's always cool to pick stuff up like this. And the fact that it was complete and the fact that you had so much stuff, it's just like I just love the opportunity to find things that are a little bit off the beaten path, that are, unexpected. And that is definitely something that you'll find at the bazaar. You will find items that are unexpected. You will find things that, haven't been around for a while. You'll find things that you've never seen before, never thought you needed, and then think, oh my gosh, I have to have that. So yeah, those are a couple of the items that I have picked up at the bazaar in the past. Now, I have also sold things at the bazaar, and this year will be no different. I will be selling a few things at the bazaar. One of the things that I'm going to sell this year, just because I just haven't had the time, unfortunately, and with time being at a premium, space being at a premium, I actually have a sealed Operation Sand Trap with the pre-order mini and the little acrylic as well. So this will be up for grabs. And I will promise you I will put a good price on it. So if you're into Infinity, if you want to get into Infinity, this box is amazing. Again, I'm a little sad about it, but at the same time, time and space just mean that I do not have the ability for it right now, and don't know that I will have the ability for it, period. So that is something that will be up for grabs. I have some 40K stuff that I'll be offloading as well. I've got some special Warhammer Plus minis that I'll have out there, just some other random bits and bobs, and I'm sure that there'll be plenty of things from my coworkers as well. We always enjoy the bazaar as an opportunity to offload some of the stuff that we've decided we just don't need anymore, which is exactly what it's for, and exactly what we see other people doing. So Bazaar Bazaar in Batavia, October 18th and 19th. Stay tuned for all the details. We are looking at perhaps altering the hours a little bit of the bazaar in order to maybe make for a little bit more streamlined experience. So stay tuned for full details about that. In the meantime, just know we open at 11 a.m. I can say that. We open at 11 a.m. We have traditionally had a line for the bazaar, especially on Saturday. That line tends to wrap around the store. Sunday as well. Sunday the prices drop, so people are usually gunning to get in there as early as possible to see if that item that they really wanted is still there. And if it is, they want it at that Sunday price, and they want to make sure they get it before anybody else does. So yeah, I would say, stay tuned for more details. Get there early on Saturday the 18th. If you're dropping stuff off, drop it off by the 14th. In Batavia only. We will not accept drop-offs at any other location. Also, we're going to have that TCG singles sale on the 18th and 19th as well. That will be at all 3 locations. And that's going to do it. That's going to do it from the old studio for today. Although I will say one other thing. I've been super excited that we have Pokemon in the store in Algonquin. We have been able to keep a steady, stream of stock coming in over the past few weeks, which has been super cool. We do have Mega Evolution in stock. I've been able to pick up a couple of packs. I bought 4 packs the other day. I bought 4 packs. I thought about doing it as a pack opening, and I was like, nobody wants to see me open 4 packs. It's no big deal. I'm not going to open the packs in front of the camera. So I opened the packs and I pulled this. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. It's a Lily's Determination special illustration rare. And I will leave you all to go to TCG Player if you want to check it out. But I wanted to share that just because, it's been so much fun, not only opening Pokemon, but playing Pokemon. As I mentioned on the channel before, my daughter and I play Pokemon. She loves the game. She loves the cards. Today, she took her little Eevee deck box to school with her to trade some cards. I'm always very, I scrutinize, kind of like, okay, yeah, you can take this, you can take this, you can take, we're gonna keep this one at home. But she has so much fun playing the game, and just with Pokemon in general. She's been really into it. She's been reading Pokemon chapter books and everything, and I love the opportunity that I get to, share that with her. And as such, that's something that we've really been trying to aim for when it comes to the Pokemon product in store. Is do our best to make sure that we have the opportunity to have product available for the people that are actively playing the game, and of course for the kids and the families that are coming in. So if you are one of those people, come in on Saturdays at noon for our Pokemon League. We'll get you signed up if you don't already have a player ID. We got some cool promo packs. We got other cool stuff, and of course it'll be your best opportunity to buy Pokemon cards in store, because we're always going to save some back for those Saturdays. In fact, we're also going to have a Phantasmal Flames pre-release, which I'm super excited about, and so stay tuned for more details on that. It will be in November. We have already set it up, but I don't have all the details ironed out, so I don't want to say too much about it, but just know we're having a Phantasmal Flames pre-release, which is super excited. The next set, it's a smaller set, but there's going to be a lot more of the traditional kind of Gen 1 Pokemon in the set. which I think people are really looking forward to. Charizard, of course. So yeah, stay tuned for more details about that. In the meantime, though, email newsletter that goes out every week has all the details about the upcoming events and links to our event calendar as well, where you can purchase tickets. And of course, we're always listening. We've always got our ears open. We're all hanging out on the Discord. We're in the store having those conversations. So thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for your patience as we navigate all the newness and all the changes that have been brought to Grognard Games over the past 6 months in particular. We are already looking forward to more in store, and hope to be able to share more information with you about some other new things that we're working on in the new year. But in the meantime, I'm going to get out of here. So Bazaar Bazaar, October 18th and 19th in Batavia. We hope to see you there. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, stay safe out there, and always, always roll responsibly.